Okay, we're live.
Good morning. I gotta tell you something funny. Scott says it's Sunday Bun Day. I thought that was so funny. Well, anyway, I'm glad you're all here this morning. And today we're gonna start the day off talking about our move to Homestead Park, just because we're so excited about it, and we just are can barely contain ourselves, honestly. We don't want to like just gush about it, but we want to gush about it. Just because anybody that's getting a new homestead it's very exciting. And I'm sure, you want to just tell your friends about it, your family about it, because it is a big deal. Moving to a homestead, it's a lifestyle. It is so exciting. And it's just such a great way to live. And you have so much to talk about because you just have all these plans and exciting plans. There's so much to do on a homestead. And you literally can just go on and on and on until your friends and family, their eyes roll back on their head and they just fall over backwards and they want to run away from you. So you do have to contain yourself and be careful. But like other homesteaders, they get it. They get it. So that's who you end up hanging out with, and that's who you end up being friends with, because they totally get it, because they have their plans and dreams of what they want to do on their homestead and all their projects. So they're exciting to talk about because they always have something going on. And then, of course, they like to hear what you have going on and see all your projects. So you do end up being friends with other homesteaders because you guys all, we all have stuff in common. So the good news is that I've said this before, but I don't know. Obviously, everybody doesn't hear everything. We have the septic in the works that's going on. And it was tricky to find a place to put the septic. Sometimes when you buy a piece of property, you have this big, huge piece of property and you're like, we want our house right here. This is our perfect spot. We've surveyed the whole property, walking around, like thinking about it, sitting out there on the property, seeing where the sun rises and sets and how, the wind blows, and right here's where we want our house. And then you have the septic guy come out and they do soil tests and stuff, and they're like, nope, it's going to cost you triple the money to put the house right here because the septic is going to be like a special septic because the soil doesn't drain well here. And then of course we're pinching pennies, so we're like, we can't do it right there. We don't want to spend that kind of money because we want to spend money on other things too. We have other things we want to do. So we're obviously not going to dump all our money into a septic. So then we're like, okay, you got to kind of bend a little, be a little lenient, see other places. So we did. We kind of made a little compromise. We don't want to totally compromise because it is a big deal where you put your house. So we figured it out, a little compromise. We figured it out. So finally we got that going. We're like, whew, okay. that was a big deal. So we got that going. Very happy about that. So that was a big deal. So then the next thing is to get the foundation built. And it's funny because where we live, like everything's on a slab or a trailer. It's like you don't need a foundation for a trailer. And it is astounding how many people live in trailers nowadays. And whatever, there's nothing wrong with a trailer, and people love trailers, and trailers are like, everybody lives in trailers now. So clearly people love them, and they sell lots of them, but you don't need a foundation for a trailer, and that's probably a plus for, people. If they can save money, you don't need a foundation. They're just sitting on these, I don't even think they're concrete anymore. I think they're like plastic grates they set them on. So to get a mason that knows how to do the footers with the steel in it and then build a stem wall and stuff, it was been a little tricky because what happens is the masons that you do talk to, they just can do a slab. They just pour slab, which is easier than having to do all the stuff that we need. So that's been a little, you got to kind of weed through them and make a million phone calls and talk to a lot of people. And it's like, no, that's not what we need. We need this. And it's like, they got to look at the blueprints because not only do we need all that, we need pillars that need the footers and the steel and blah, blah, blah. It was like he just need a lot of stuff. So finally. And Scott did all this, so, which was nice of him, It's like he made all the phone calls. So that was very nice of him. He wants to do it. So I'm not going to like steamroll over him and be like, push him out of the way and be like, no, I'll do it. So I'm just going to like step back, let him do it all. So he did a great job. He did it. He found the guy. So thankfully, he's doing that for me because, he's going to do all my stuff and do his stuff too. So what a man. I raised a good son. He did it. So anyway, so we got that guy all lined up. So, so excited. I'm just over the moon happy. So we got to that's step 2. But once that's done, it's like, I think that's the next is just moving the cabin over.
Once the foundation's done, we just got to move the cabin to it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we have to build a house. The house is already built. We just got to move it.
Gosh, so excited. So seems to me like that's the easy part. So I'm just like, it's almost like this is the hard part. But of course, there's waiting involved because you got to get on people's schedules. So, you want to be like, hurry, you're like a little kid. I'm like jumping in the background, hurry. But you can't be like that. You can't be like a rude jerk. So you have to just be like, okay, whenever. They just get you on their schedule. People are busy. You can't be pushy or, rude about it. You have to be polite and be an adult and just wait your turn. So that's where we are now. So we just have to, wait, but it's not easy to wait. I feel like jumping up and down and being like, hurry, which is hard.
So we want to talk about why chickens don't lay eggs. A lot of people are asking about why their chickens aren't laying. So let's talk about that now.
Okay, we will talk about that now. Chickens want to lay eggs. Let's just get that. They're built to lay eggs. Chickens are designed to lay lots and lots of eggs. What people don't realize is chickens have, I've read this before, and I think they have millions of eggs in their body that just are waiting to develop and come out as an egg. Just like women have like tons of eggs in their bodies that are ready to come out as, to be made into babies. So if you're healthy, like a woman can have a lot of babies. Really, time runs out before she can have as many babies as her body has in there. So the chicken's kind of the same way. Like there's plenty in there. It's just a matter of you keeping the bird healthy and feeding the bird properly so she can just be a little egg making factory. So the thing about it is, she has to have good living conditions. She has to be like this happy little chicken, just living the dream life. So that's your step 1. You have to set her up so she's literally like this little queen living the dream life. Concentrate on that first. That's got to be your number 1 goal. Set her up like she's your little queen in the backyard living the dream life. Queens aren't crowded. They're not crowded, packed in like sardines. The queen has room. So if you have, 10 chickens and they're all crammed in a coop and you look out there and they're all crammed in there and, the sun is shining on them and there's not much room, they ain't living the queen life. They're living the cramped in, not the good life. So go make your coop bigger. Go make your run bigger. Get them some shade. Get some sand out there so it drains well. You have to fix it up. So that's number 1. Get them a good hen house so when they go to bed at night, they're spread out. They don't want to be on the roost, chicken, touching eeach other. They want to pick where they want to sleep. So some of them want to be over here and some of them want to be in the middle and, they want to spread out. They're picky. And if you notice, it takes them a long time to get up there and get in bed. They're picky. So
Claudia says that her Welsh summer stopped laying eggs for a few weeks and is sitting in the nest a lot. Is it broody?
Okay, Claudia. So sometimes if your hen house isn't secure, something will stalk them at night and they don't feel secure. So they're hiding. They're not necessarily broody. Usually when a hen goes broody, there's a pile of eggs in the nest box. Usually if the nest box is empty, it's not really a broody hen, it's a scared hen. It's scared for some reason. So you might not see it because you're sleeping, but there's a raccoon that's out there circling your coop at night or something. Something's going on, you know. You have to make sure that your coop is really secure. That's why I recommend always to build a wooden hen house. And make sure, you know, I say build it under a tree, but you don't want the tree branches hanging over so that raccoon or possum can crawl over the branch and then get down on the roof of the hen house, and he's like crawling around up there. Because then the hens are like, they're on their perch going, it's up there. Oh my God, it's coming to get us. It's digging, trying to get in. So you have to be very, you know, get out there with the loppers and get the branches away from the tree, even though the tree is giving the hen house shade. Because those chickens are very aware if something's out there stalking it. You have to be careful about all that. And then if it's just an ongoing problem, you might have to put electric around the hen house at night. So nothing's on that coop or around that coop stalking it. Now, if it's broody because there's eggs in the hen house, you know, in the nest box, what you can do is just collect those eggs every single day. Don't leave any eggs in the nest box. And then see if that helps. Another reason she might be in the nest box is she's just a heavier breed and she can't get up on the roost at night. You know, you have to build a chicken ladder so she can waddle up the chicken ladder to the roost. Or your roost isn't big enough and some of those hens up there are mean to her and peck her. They're like, get! And then she has nowhere to sleep up there. So they're kicking her out. And so she's like, well, I'll just get in here and sleep. So you have to make sure a roost has to be long, big, and plenty big. If it's overcrowded and they're mean to her and kicking her out of there, well, where else is she gonna go? She's gotta sleep somewhere. So she's just like, I'll just go in here and sleep in here. So, you know, you gotta figure it out. You gotta get in there and look around and think about it. How many chickens do you have in that coop? Is there plenty of room?
Matt says that he has roosters that are kind of not getting along and fighting, and he's trying to introduce them all together, and what should he do?
Matt, roosters never get along. Roosters fight. Hello, that's just what roosters do. They never get along. So if you have one rooster and it's a good rooster, consider yourself lucky. Roosters are a pain in the neck, period. Like, that's just what roosters are, a pain in the neck. Especially the older they get, the worse they get. So if you have roosters that grow up together and you'll be like, well, maybe if they get them as little chicks and they grow up together, they might get along. No, they won't. No, they won't. Because as soon as they get mature, one of them is going to be bigger and stronger. He is going to be the boss over the hens, and he is going to fight the other one to stay away from the hens. And so that's just the way it is. That's nature. You're not going to change nature. It is what it is. That's what it is. So don't try to change it. You're not going to be like the special guy in the world that's going to change it. So just accept it.
And then we should tell people about how we had to move Dandy out because he was too intense for the hens.
Yeah. And not that he's too intense, really not intense is the word, but he's just too big of a breed. The breeds have to match up. Like, he is gigantor. And then the hens are just not his equal in his size. And so he is just squishing him down and hurting him physically. Like, they just can't take him. He needs to be with the same size hens that he is, which we have seen them at the fair. And we died laughing because they were like so gigantic. We were like, we got to get him a couple of those that he couldn't hurt him. And so we did have to get him out of there. And the thing is, if he bred him like once a week, they'd probably survive. But roosters aren't like that. So it's like, we got to get him. I'm like, we got to get him out of there. You know what I mean? He's going to It's gonna kill him. He gets their hip out of the socket, literally. Like they just can't take it, and then they die. So that's what you got to do. So just get rid of the roosters. That's all you got to do. Either that or just build a pen and just keep them separate. If you love the roosters, just get the city coop we have, and just keep the roosters in the city coop. It's like you'll have a whole line of them. Just have one rooster in each city coop. That's what we do. We have 2 out there. We have 1 rooster in each city coop because we do like the roosters. They are great roosters. They both do the rooster dance. One's tiny, one's gigantic. They're cute, and we like them, but they're both a pain in the neck, and neither one of them can be with the hens, and so we just keep them in the city coop, and then we do let them out to run around once in a while, but lo and behold, every single time we let them out, one will run over to the other one and start fighting. Never fails. Never fails. They are just such jerks with each other. It just never fails. And if you want it, and the city coops are the perfect size for the roosters. They're perfectly healthy, living there forever. And if you want to get the plans for the city coop, which are so easy to build, the roosters are so happy in there, and it's easy peasy. You can get the book. Scott will have the link in the description of this video, and you can just have a look at that and see if you like it, and then you can just build one. And so handy, and they last forever. We've had ours for years and years and years, and love them. It's really, really handy.
Emily wants to know, how much and how many times a day should I feed 3 chickens when they are free ranging with plenty of grass?
Okay, Emily, first of all, chickens don't live on grass, and grass does nothing for your chickens. So they don't eat, they just peck at grass, but what they're looking for is bugs, and what chickens live on is protein. They're looking for meat. That's what makes them lay eggs, and that's what gives them feathers, and that's what helps them lay eggs. So grass does nothing for them. They're looking for grasshoppers and crickets and slugs and everything in the grass. And so what you need to do is you need to feed them. Well, what I do is feed twice a day. People think chickens that free range get enough, and a lot of times, in fact, I would say 100% of the time they don't get enough free ranging. You still have to feed. Unless you live literally even where I live, which is very moist and there's a lot of bugs in Florida, they still don't get enough.
We got a $4.99 super chat from Linda and Tony.
Thank you, Linda and Tony. I appreciate that.
And they ask, the bags of play sand for kids at Lowe's, is that okay to use for my chickens?
Yes, it is. They will love that. That's perfect.
Do you have to mix it with the dirt on the ground already, or just use the sand?
You don't have to mix it with the dirt. You can just put that sand in the coop, that just on top of the dirt. That would be perfect. Believe me, the chickens will mix it. Wait, I wanted to answer the other girl's question about feeding. Emily. I would feed morning and night, and if you can, watch my videos, or you can get my book and read the book. It's in there, and feed my chicken mix. And I feed morning and night, and then your chickens will be really healthy. And so for 3, you could probably give them, I don't know, maybe a cup in the morning and a cup at night. And your chickens should be really healthy and lay lots of eggs for you. All right, so we were also talking about setting up the coop so people's chickens will lay lots of eggs. So another thing I was going to talk about is we were talking about the roost, and then the size of the coop is another important thing. People just don't realize how important all that is. Also, the roost I was talking about, but the ladder is very important as well. So make sure if you have your roost really high that you have a chicken ladder in there, because what people will do is they'll build a chicken hen house, the hen house part where they sleep, and they'll have the roost, but it'll be on the small side, and the chickens need to flutter, like they fly up, and they'll make it up there. they'll struggle, but they'll make it up there at night. And what people don't realize is in the morning when they're getting down, they need more room to go from up high to the ground because they're heavy. And so they need more room to really flap their wings and fly out and land on the ground. Well, they'll have this tiny little hen house, and the chicken can't just like jump off that roost and just jump down to the ground. They're too heavy and it hurts them. They just like land, like plop down on the ground, and it just like blump, it like really hurts them. And they'll end up getting, like, that egg is developing in there. That egg they're going to lay that morning. So it'll crack in there or whatever, and they'll become egg bound and stuff. And you'll just develop a lot of problems. So if they have a chicken ladder, they can just walk down the chicken ladder. And, you're causing a lot of problems by doing it without a chicken ladder. Unless you have, like, a huge hen house. And that hen has a lot of room, and she can, like, fly off that chicken roost at night.
We got a $1.99 super chat from Melinda and Tony.
Thank you, Melinda
and
and Tony.
It's the super lemon with the baby lemon in awe of it.
That's so cute. We don't have internet today, so Scott can't show me the little emojis because we're going off just the phone. We don't know why.
That's how you know you live in the country, that you have the power go out, you have the internet go out.
Yeah, sometimes. That's so cute, though. So anyway, people don't realize that, sometimes in keeping your chickens, like a one little mistake can just like throw everything off, just derail your whole process. So you have to like put a lot of thought into what you're doing out there in the yard with your chickens.
Frankie says, "Hello, Becky. This is my first time watching you live."
Oh, good. Glad you joined us, Frankie.
I've wanted to tell you how much I enjoy you and your show. I've been watching for a couple of years and look forward to every video.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Glad to hear it. So what I was saying is, so a lot of times just one thing can throw everything off. So you do have to spend time watching your chickens and put a lot of thought into your setup. Because even though it's like a simple setup, one thing can throw everything off, and then just like it'll be out of whack. And then you'll be like wondering, you have to turn the camera. Do you see the point?
Just that way a little bit.
No, there's a point
just a
there.
little bit.
I'm not standing on the point. Turn the camera.
You don't have to stand by
Turn
the
the
point.
camera.
Just a teensy bit.
Nope. Turn the camera. I'm not
You're
doing
good.
it.
It looks great.
Not doing it. Not doing it.
You don't have to. You look great. We got a $2 super chat from Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
And it just says hello.
Okay, so that is one thing really important, because you don't ever want to break an egg in your chicken. Like, you don't even want to go there. You don't even want to go down that road. It is such a pain in the neck. And then plus it'll damage your hen. So you gotta, like I said, you gotta treat her like a queen. Like, she's your queen. So you don't want the queen to plop on the ground, leaving the roost. And don't forget, she's doing that every single solitary morning. And some of them are smart enough. They'll just quit going up on the roost. They'll just go in the nest box. And you don't want them to go in the nest box and sleep in there, because they'll poop in there. And you really don't want poop in your nest box. When they lay their eggs, there won't be any poop in the nest box. So if you're finding poop in the nest box, it's like there's a problem. You shouldn't see any poop in your nest box.
Jason says he's going to make a chicken ladder today.
Yeah, make a chicken ladder. And all you have to do is get like a 2x6 board. It doesn't have to be fancy. And then you have to get like a little like 2x2 or 1x2, and then just put little slats. They don't have to be close together. They can be 6 inches apart. And then just go across, and then just put that at an angle up there. And it's so cute. At first they're like, they don't get it at first, but just be patient. And what I'll do is I'll put the end that's on the ground on a cement block. And then I'll put the other part up on the roost. And it's so funny. They'll figure it out. Even the ones that can fly and get up and down easy, the lighter breeds like the leghorns and stuff. Yeah, pretty soon they'll be using the ladder. Everybody will be using the ladder. And then a lot of times they'll just so funny. They'll be walking up and down. It's just so funny. They like it.
Miranda wants to know, what age should she start feeding oyster shells?
Hi, Miranda. I offer everything right. Just start putting it out there right away. there's little tiny pieces and big pieces, and they'll just start eating them whenever they feel ready. Might as well just put it out there. Who cares? It's not like there's a time limit or an age where you start this, and this. I was thinking about this the other day. Somebody's like, well, when should I start feeding the protein? And I'm like, well, just put a little tiny piece of tuna in the dish of the little baby chick. It'll start pecking it. Like, who cares? You'll be surprised how young they are when they start eating the protein, the meat. And as long as you're giving them grit, the chick grit, when it's tiny, it'll be able to digest it. So just put it in there right away,
Janet wants to know if you use brewer's yeast or oregano in your chicken feed.
I don't, Janet. I don't give all that to them. I just why? They don't need that. It's not out in nature where they would find it. I mean, if you were growing that in your garden and you wanted to just pick a sprig of that and throw it in their pen or whatever, go ahead. I don't think that would hurt. But, I don't think you have to go buy some and sprinkle it and put it in there. You know what I mean? Just try to take a kind of a natural approach. And if you're growing it in your garden, that's how I always do it. Whatever I'm growing in my garden, if I'm weeding or whatever, trimming, I'll just go throw it to them. And if they eat it, they eat it. If they don't, they don't. You know what I mean? I just offer it to them. If I'm picking blackberries and, there's a half ugly one or whatever, sometimes I give some to the pigs. Sometimes I throw them to the chickens. Sometimes I feed them to the horses. And just kind of a natural way like that, that's how I do everything. Same with if I get a watermelon, I'll give some to the chickens, some to the pigs, some to the horses, just like that, just in a very kind of natural way on the homestead.
Victor says, I really like your videos. They're very informative and enjoyable.
Oh, thank you, Victor. I'm glad to hear that. I gotta take a little drink.
Sandra says, I've been watching you since I got my chickens 2 years ago.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, Sandra. I hope you're doing good with your chickens. I love chickens. I've had chickens for so long, and I like to watch my chickens. And like I said, I get nonstop egg production. I get eggs all winter, all summer. The only time I don't get egg production are when my chickens molt, and my chickens only molt once a year. I have very healthy chickens, and mine pretty much only die of old age, or like my rooster if he's too heavy for him. And I did have a couple, he pulled the hip out of place. I wasn't paying close enough attention, and I tried to get him out of there, but one.
Izzy wants to know what's the difference between laying feed and just regular chicken feed?
I don't feed any of that feed anymore. Laying feed supposedly has more, I think, protein in it, but I don't think any of that feed has enough in there. I don't think it has enough fat in there or protein. I have made my own chicken mix. And if you want to see what that recipe is, it is in my book right here. And I think it is the best recipe ever. And it's in my book. And if you feed this, I think you're going to have eggs coming out your ears, just like I do. And so I stand by my recipe. And I think I have so many emails of people that feed my recipe and write to me and thank me and say, oh my God, their chickens weren't laying at all, and now they're getting so many eggs. And they'll say their chickens weren't laying in the winter, and now they get eggs all winter, just like I do. So, I mean, everybody's different, and everybody likes to feed their own way. So, of course, I'm not twisting anybody's arm. So I can only tell you what I do and the success I have. And of course, it's up to you to, feed your chickens the way you like to.
Linda and Tony say, my baby chickens will be here on July 27th.
How exciting.
Almost everything ready. I'm so excited but worried at the same time.
Don't worry yourself. You'll do great. And all you have to do to alleviate your worry is tell yourself, I'm open to adjustments. Whatever you do, don't worry. And if you see something's going wrong, just make an adjustment. That's all you have to do. Do your best. Like, of course, you're going to start out doing your best. And if something's going wrong, just like look at it for a minute and just be like, it doesn't look like it's going right. And then just make an adjustment. That's all you have to do. And then you'll be doing great.
Erilyn says that they've been giving their chickens kale and the chickens don't seem to like it. What should they do?
Well, do you like kale? Does anybody like kale? Let's be honest. It's like, quit feeding it to them. It's like, they're telling you something. They don't like it. Give them something they like. Give them some tuna fish or some mealworms. They'll gobble that up and lay you some good eggs.
Oh My Pets wants to know how to stop your chicken from eating their own eggs.
They're hungry and they want some meat. That is why they're eating their own eggs. They need protein. They need animal protein, meat. Feed them some mealworms, sardines, tuna fish. If you're like a busy person and you like have to go to work every day, so you have to just feed them in the morning quickly, you can buy some grain-free, high-quality puppy kibble or cat kibble, and you can just make a chicken mix, a chicken food. And I have a recipe in my book, My Chicken Mix, and you can just mix that in there, and then you'll just have that ready to go. And that way you can just get a scoop in the morning and feed, and then when you come home from work, a scoop in the evening and feed. And your chickens will be getting everything they need and be happy and healthy and lay lots of eggs for you. So that's the problem, and that's why they're eating their eggs. They're hungry for meat. That's what they're hungry for. Chickens need lots and lots of animal protein because their feathers are like 95 to 99% protein, and to lay an egg takes tons of protein because eggs are fat and protein. And that's what your chickens are lacking. And if you don't give it to them, they're like, well, we'll get it our own self because they have no choice. And so that's what they're having to do, poor babies. So I think you're not giving them what they need in their diet.
Patricia says, I'm getting my chicks this week, 6 black oracles and 3 buff Orpingtons.
Oh, good. How exciting. I know. They are so, so cute when they're little. Oh my goodness. I could just watch them forever. They're so adorable, so cute.
Rebecca says, I made your food recipe for the chickens, but they don't seem like they like the corn.
Give them a chance. What you have to do is don't overfeed them. If they're stuffed full, this is how the analogy I use. Like, okay, so you want your little child to try something new. So like you feed them dinner, and then here you come with a plate of something new, and you're like, oh, here, try this, have a bite. Well, the kid's full, and they're like, no, thank, I don't want it, Mommy, I don't want it. And you're like, okay, please try. And they're like, I don't want it. Well, why would they? They're full. They're satisfied. So in the beginning of the meal, when somebody sits at the table, they're starving. Now you come in with something you want them to try. And you're like, here, try this. This is, I just made this, try. They're more likely to have a bite of something new.
Mary wants to know if feral cats will kill her chickens.
Well, I would say a feral cat is definitely more likely to kill a little baby chicken than a pet cat, because a pet cat is going to have a full belly and not be as hungry. A feral cat for sure is a better hunter, and a feral cat is going to be, hungry and not as picky. So I would say a feral cat is probably definitely more likely to kill a little stupid chicken. So
a lot of people
careful.
are asking where to get your book, and the link is below in the description. And it's on Amazon and our website if you want the ebook. But you can buy this print copy on Amazon.
And what I want to tell you is, in the book, I like to put the basics. So when you have questions, I try to make it an easy read, just the basics. So you can just look it up. If you have a problem or you need to find something, it's just in here. You're not going to be trying to find, I always like to make the analogy like you need a screw and you go to Lowe's and you like walk in and you're like, I need to find one of these. And you're just like, oh my God, how am I going to find it? You know what I mean? You'll be in there for days trying to find the screw you need. Okay, so yeah, you could find it. You could look through all that stuff and you will find the screw you need. You know it's in there. That's what it's like trying to find what you need on the internet. And it's like, yeah, you can find it for free on the internet. And I do have tons of videos. If you have the time, you can find all that information. But if you need something quick, you know, sometimes you want to just have the guide and you can just flip through it. You know, time is valuable in my life. Time's valuable. So sometimes you want to just find it quick. And it's worth it to pay the little bit of money to have the book on hand. So, you know, everybody make their own choice. You can do it either way. It's a free world. You know what I mean? Make your own choice for your life. But anyway, so that's what I have the book for. This is a great little guide to help you with the basics of your chickens, you know. So it's in there if you need it quick and you're just a busy person and you want some answers. You just find it, go on with your life. So I hope that, well, I get people writing to me that they love the book and it's a great book. So anybody that gets it, I hope you feel the same way.
A lot of people are asking about feeding their chickens sardines. Can you just feed them sardines?
Absolutely. They will gobble them up and love them. Love them. Yes. Tuna, sardines. You know, even if you're like a person, a man or a woman, because some women like it too. Like if you like to fish and you just catch fish, you could just put the fish out there and they'll pick the fish and eat it. Like raw. You don't even have to cook it or anything. Just put it out there. They'll eat it. You know,
Rebecca says, I just want to put it out there that your advice and videos and book have been so helpful. Thank you for your knowledge.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love to help
Rebecca.
people. Yes, Rebecca. Thank you. I'm just really want to just say I love to help people. And I just warms my heart when I can help people. And especially in the homesteading category, it just makes me so happy.
Sandra says that she gives your chicken feed and mealworms twice a day. And Evelyn says that she gives her chickens alfalfa hay.
Sandra and Evelyn? I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, both are good. The alfalfa hay is great. Actually, alfalfa hay is high in protein. And that alfalfa hay is really good in the winter, especially you people that live like up north when it's cold. And, you know, like it's really cold. Just to break that open, actually inside the hen house, if you buy a whole bale of alfalfa hay, and you actually wouldn't even have to break it open. You might just put the whole bale in there and they can just peck it out of the bale. That is something awesome to do in a hen house.
Scott says, hi, Becky and Scott. I can't stay and watch, but I'll have to watch later.
Okay, well, at least you joined for a few minutes. Glad to have you.
Makita says they have a Buff Orpington that's actually very aggressive.
Yes, a Buff Orpingtons. I say that about the Buff Orpingtons. Sometimes they're sweet, sweet, sweet. And sometimes you will get a Buff Orpington and they will be a mean little stinker. It is so weird about that breed. They can go either way. Like it's a crapshoot with a Buff Orpington. I don't know why that is with that breed, but it's really weird with a Buff Orpington.
Zarina wants to know if it's okay to give the chickens aloe in their water.
Zarina? That's a nice name. Why? Like, why would I don't put anything funky in water? Maybe I will put some apple cider vinegar a little bit in the summer, but you want clean, fresh water. You don't want anything that is going to stop a chicken from drinking and possibly dehydrate the chicken. If you feel like you want to give the chicken some aloe vera, it might be in a separate container, but never in their water container, because if they don't like the aloe vera and they just like won't drink it, and your chicken's going to get dehydrated and clog up and die. Like, never chance it. I don't do that with any animal I have. So I don't ever think that's a good idea. Like I said, if you feel like you want to try that for whatever reason, like I don't see any reason for that, just always do that in a separate bowl.
Maris wants to know if 2 roosters is too much for 20 hens.
Maris, first of all, Do they do the rooster dance? That's the number one question. And if they're great roosters and they do the rooster dance, I mean, probably not, if they're great roosters. And, do they free range?
And just see if the hens are happy. Are they laying eggs? Do their feathers look good?
Yeah. Yeah. Is the coop big enough? You know what I mean? Is it peaceful? So, I think that's probably good numbers if you feel like you have to have roosters. Don't forget, when a rooster breeds a hen, she's fertile. She'll be laying fertile eggs for 2 weeks. So really, one rooster would probably be fine for 20 hens.
Rebecca wants to know if the hens will be happy with no rooster or will they get depressed?
Are you kidding me? The hens are way happier without a rooster. I find I get better egg production without a rooster. I find a rooster stresses the hens out, personally. First of all, he's bossy. He tries to herd them and keep them all together, and he does try to feed them and stuff. And I don't know. I find my hens lay way better without a rooster, personally. And like I said, one rooster, after he breeds a hen, she's fertile up to 2 weeks. So you don't even need 2 roosters for 20 chickens. One rooster.
Tori wants to know, how many chickens do you have?
Right now I only have 5, which is plenty for me. Because I feed so well and they just keep laying eggs. I still have too many eggs and I eat a lot of eggs. It's like we were saying the other day, when they just never stop rolling in, when the eggs never ever stop rolling in, you'd be surprised how quick they add up. It's like they just never stop. You know what I mean? There's never a break in those eggs rolling in. So Scott says it's like the I Love Lucy show with the candy on the conveyor belt where it just never stops. Sometimes you wish you could just pause it for a week maybe. Just give it a break. But it's fine because I give my eggs away, so it doesn't matter. I'm not complaining. I mean, how do you complain about too many eggs? Honestly, it's ridiculous to complain about too many eggs. That is I'm insane. I love to give my eggs away.
Evelyn says that she can't wait till we move to Homestead Park and start doing workshops.
Oh, I cannot wait. So excited. It'll be so nice. So nice. Can't wait. It'll be lovely.
Nancy says, hello from Italy. Love you guys. I have 5 chickens.
Hi, Nancy. Oh, perfect. I know that's how many I have now. It is a very nice amount. Very nice amount. Not too many. If you feed them right and take good care of them, you just, like I said, the eggs just keep rolling in, and it's just such a nice amount to take care of. You can still watch them. They're so cute, and you can just get to know each one so well. And if you go away, it's not too many for somebody to take care of, and it's such a nice amount. Such a nice amount.
Tina wants to know when we're moving.
Hi, Tina. Well, when you're moving, it's not just up to you. You're depending on other people's schedules, so you can't say when you're moving. We can't say a date because it's not up to us. It's up to other people's schedules.
But we talked about it at the beginning of the video if you want to start watching from the beginning. But real quick, we are on the step now of hiring the mason to build the foundation. And then once the foundation's done, then it's just move the cabin.
But that includes pulling permits. So then you're dealing with the county. So you're on their schedule, however fast they can give you the permit. So that, that depends on how busy they are and how quick they do that. And so then after you do that, then you're on the mason schedule. So, I mean, like I said, that all depends on all that. So, but once the ball's rolling, things are moving along. So I'm thinking for sure, this summer, the end of the summer, probably. Within months, that's what I'm thinking. Like I said, I'm so anxious. I want to be jumping up and down like a little kid, like hurry, 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 but you can't be rude to people. Can't be annoying and rude because then, you basically make people mad. They'll be like, get away, shut up. So you can't be like that. You gotta be respectful.
Jonathan wants to know if the chickens get too hot in Florida.
Mine don't. I mean, sometimes on the hottest days when everybody's hot, you'll see birds pant. But when I see my chickens panting, I see the crows, because I have my murder of crows that hang around my house. They literally practically live here. They'll be panting. So everybody's panting.
Well, that's also why you tell people to build the coop strong with a good roof, with good solid shade under a shade tree. So it's under the shade of the coop, under the shade of the tree.
Yeah. And if everything's panting, like the wild birds are panting, my chickens are panting, you know what I mean? The dogs are panting, like everything's hot. So, I mean, if the animals are healthy, they can manage. Everybody's just kind of chilling out. They're all just chilling out in the shade, and healthy animals can survive that. Just like we're hot, we survive that. You just chill out and relax, and then, as soon as evening comes, everybody's just like kind of springs to life again.
And another thing I would tell you to look out for is make sure there's nothing reflecting in the coop. Like if you park the car near the coop, the sun will reflect off the car.
More heat.
And be like a laser beam cooking your chickens. So make sure there's nothing metal or shiny, or even the vinyl siding of your house. Mm-hmm. If you put the coop too close to the house, the vinyl siding will reflect the heat right on your chickens and cook them.
Right.
So you gotta look for reflecting things.
Yeah.
Keep them away.
A junk pile with ladders or just whatever, you know what I mean? Try to keep everything real natural looking. Just plants and stuff under the big shade tree. Excuse me.
Some people say they put a fan in their chicken coop. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Just make sure you have it safely wired and safely
Some people
installed.
do that. I don't have fans for any of my animals.
Well, you have them in shade good.
Yeah. Yeah, some people put fans in their horse stalls and like fans for all their animals. I don't do any of that. I just have it, things like open enough to where they get a breeze, and I don't know. I just never have had a problem. They'll just lay out there like everything. Everybody's just like chilled. But I don't know. I'd be more afraid it's gonna get something stuck in that fan, or something's gonna chew the wire and electrocute somebody or something. I'm just not going to chance that. I don't think they need it that much. So that's why I'm not going to do it.
APS Education wants to know if you ever feel bored on your homestead.
Oh my God, never. I'm not a bored person anyway. I'm like a very artistic person. I'm always making stuff. So I never, ever, ever in my life feel bored. So I don't know. I think if you feel bored, like you need to get a hobby or something. Like, I don't know. Start painting, sewing. I don't know. Get it. I don't know what to tell you. I can't even suggest something. Get a hobby. I don't know. Start gardening. Something. Okay. So anyway, what else should we talk about?
Well, since it's just been so rainy this week and everything's closed, we haven't really done much.
No, we haven't.
Just, living our life on the homestead.
I don't talk about cooking too much either. I'm on a diet. I'm like trying to stay away from food, to tell you the truth. I normally could tell you like some awesome recipes or some awesome places we've been to like eat or something. But it's like, I don't even want to talk about food. When Scott watches stuff, anything on TV, I'm like, I gotta leave the room. I don't want to talk about that. I'm like, I can't.
You could talk about your diet though. You're doing good on your diet. You talk about that a little.
It's like, well, anyway, I just want to talk about this one thing though. It is food, but Scott we all went out. We all went to Orlando, which was very, very nice. And it was amazing how much stuff was on sale. Like not just on sale, like half price. Like everything was slashed. I think companies were like really needing some money. And so like even Levi, which is a pretty big company, like you never see their stuff like 50% off in the Levi store. And then what other store? Oh, we went to that Tommy Bahama store. It wasn't stuff like even 75% off.
My brother spent some money in that Tommy Bahama store, but it was all 75, 80% off.
It was like so slashed the prices. I was actually very surprised how much stuff was on sale. You know what I mean? Because we are cheapskates. We always try to find stuff on sale, honestly. Just because we want to live a frugal life. We choose to live a frugal life. So we're never like big splurgers ever. We always try to stay. We want to buy nicer stuff, but we always try to, like really on sale though. So anyway, so we did that. And what I was going to tell you, this is what I was going to talk about. So we're down there. We do always look up bakeries and stuff and try to find places to eat. So for whatever reason, James finds this vegan bakery, which we're totally not vegans.
Yes.
Like totally not vegans, not even close. Like we kind of make fun of it because we're not. We eat fattening food because we love fattening food. It's like we want all the butter. We want all the cheese. It's like, but we're open-minded though. So that's one good thing about our personality. So this stuff looked really, really well done though. Got to give them credit. Whoever was making it looked like they were very, very good at it.
I ate something from there and I got a stomach ache.
Yeah, he did get a stomach ache.
Twice, because I ate half, got a stomach ache, and then I'm like, well, let me try this again the next day.
Because it looked good.
And got a stomach ache again.
Which I didn't. So he did.
Because we were joking on the way there.
did.
I go, well, if it's not cream and butter, I go, what's it made from? And my brother goes, it's meme and mutter.
No, shmeem and schmutter. That's what James was saying. But like we said, it looked very well made. So anyway, another thing we liked and we thought was so funny is the bakery was open until midnight, which we cracked up about that too. Because, I mean, bakeries usually close like at 2 in the afternoon when everything's sold out. So we were like, oh, it's open until midnight. We just thought that was so odd. So anyway, here we are, because we didn't get down there until late because James had to work. So here we are. We're like, didn't we get there till like 11:30, right? Wasn't it like 11:30?
Like 10.
It was after 11. So here we go. We got there. Super pricey. We're like, why is it so expensive when there's no butter or eggs or anything in it? But whatever. So we just bought 3 things, and James and Jenny spent like $40 at this bakery. It was ridiculous. So I ate it. It was pretty good. Whatever. Scott got a stomach ache. So on the way home though, we find this other bakery, and it was in a gas station. So then we're like, we're open-minded though. Like I said, we love to go on adventures. We're open-minded. We have fun. So we walk in, and I'm gluten-free. I just can't eat gluten. I always feel like I have a food baby when I eat gluten. I'm just like, I just can't do the gluten. I'm just like, oh, I just can't do it. Even though I love it. I want to, but I just can't. So we get into this, I have to use the restroom, so I'm in there, and I'm just like, oh, it smells so good in here. I'm like, oh my God, it smells so good in here. So I'm like, I gotta look. So I look over there, and there's like these huge donuts, and it's called Damn Good Donuts. So I gotta look in the box, and these are these huge, like homemade donuts that look out of this world.
They were very good. Their name fits. Those were very good donuts.
Looked out of this world. And you could just tell they were homemade. The icing looked good. Sprinkles, they just looked so good. So Scott got 6 of them. And
we gave 3 to our pet sitter. So I didn't eat 6. I ate 3.
Yeah.
And we gave 3 to our
Well,
pet
I
sitter.
was going to say, they were 6, but it was equal to a dozen donuts. Like, 6 equaled 12. They were huge. Like, not just huge in size that way, but tall. They were just gigantic, beautiful, big donuts. And so my favorite donuts they're like ice, like glazed, but then they have chocolate frosting on them. And then, so of course, he has to get one of those. And then it had chocolate sprinkles, which I love sprinkles too. So then he's eating them. Of course, he's all, they're so delicious. And he's like, and he knows those are my favorites. He's like, oh, you gotta have a bite of this. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have one bite. I'm just gonna sacrifice it and have one bite. So I go and I'm just have this big bite of this big chocolate donut. I was like, oh, it was so good. And anyway, so like I said, I go, you cannot eat all those donuts. You're going to gain 10 pounds off of those 6 donuts. So the funny thing is we always give all our fattening pastry to our pet sitter. He always, even when he lived down the street, he would always buy too much food. And so he would buy like this huge cake, and I'd be like, what are you buying that big cake for? He's like, oh, I want it. And then he would, he would try to keep it at my house. I'm like, you're keeping that here. I'm like, take it to your house. And so then he would try to eat, he'd eat too much of the cake, and he'd try to bring it back over here. I'm like, you're not bringing that to my house. And then he'd be like, give it to Nancy. I would be like bringing Nancy half a cake.
She loves it though.
Yeah, she does love it. She loves it. We always bring her half our pastry.
We got a $5 super chat from Joanne.
Thank you, Joanne.
Do you recommend feeding medicated chick starter or unmedicated chick starter? Thank you for your help.
Oh, you're so welcome. Okay, I'm sorry I ranch off on my little pastry story. I always do non-medicated. I do not like to medicate for no reason. Like, do we just medicate ourselves for nothing? It's like ridiculous. I do not medicate for nothing. So I always try to do organic, non-medicated. I want me and all my animals just to be healthy and our immune systems to keep us healthy. So I always do non-medicated.
Amber, we got a $9.99 super chat from Amber.
Hi, my Amber. I'm like, oh, hi, my Amber.
And it's a chihuahua hugging a heart.
Oh, so cute. So cute. Amber, you're so funny. And sweet. Okay, so.
But we were going to talk about your diet a little bit.
I don't want to talk about my diet. It was more fun talking about all the pastry and donuts. I don't want to talk about my diet. The damn good donuts. So anyway, if you're ever in the Orlando area, you should go to Damn Good Donuts. You will not be disappointed if you like donuts. I'm a donut freak, which of course I'm going to eat donuts anymore because I'm going to be good and not eat the donuts.
Amber says, good morning, Becky Sunshine.
Good morning to you. Were you here in the beginning when Scott says it's Sunday Bun Day, which I thought that was hilarious. Sunday Bun Day.
Give it a little squeeze.
No, I don't want to touch it.
Do like this.
I don't want to touch it. No, I don't want to touch it. It's like when I get it up there and I get it good, I'm like, stop touching it.
Christy wants to know why her chickens are laying fragile, thin shell eggs.
You need to give your chickens crushed oyster shells. Chickens need a lot of calcium. Eggs, the shells need calcium. And if you don't quickly go out and buy the crushed oyster shells, the next step is they get egg bound, because not only do the shells need a lot of calcium, but the chicken muscles to push the egg out needs a lot of a lot of calcium. So their muscles need a lot of calcium to develop the egg and, push it down the pike and lay the egg. The shell needs a lot of calcium as well. So they need to be fed crushed oyster shells their entire life. So you have to run out and just go buy the big bag. They have like a 50-pound bag at Tractor Supply, or probably Rural King if you have one of those in your area. And just don't buy the little 8-pound bag. Don't bother, because you're going to have to be feeding these the entire life of the chicken. So
Rebecca says, do you have any advice for living with guinea hens? And then I have somebody funny. Frugal says, yeah, buy earplugs.
For the guinea hen. I love guinea hens. Yeah, Rebecca. I love guinea hens. My advice would be don't get tons of them. First of all, if you get a male and a female, guinea hens have a million babies, because guinea hens lay a million eggs in one nest, clutch. And so careful with the guinea hens, because
people want to know how to send us donations. You can send them through PayPal. You can just send money through PayPal.
To who?
Us.
Becky's
Homestead at gmail.com.
Oh.
Through PayPal. And,
so he says it like it's so easy. Like I wouldn't know how to do that.
It's through PayPal. You know how to use PayPal.
But if you go send it to PayPal, I'm like,
well,
to
PayPal
who?
says send money. This is to who, and you type in the email address.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
how it works. Becky'sHomestead@gmail.com. That's our email address.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yes. But yeah, guinea hens are a handful. They're noisy and full of themselves. They're very smart. They're smart, and I say they're like the mule. Because like there's a horse, and then a mule is smarter than a horse. And then there's a chicken, and then a guinea hen is smarter.
Guineas
than the
are
chicken.
wonderful, though. I have to say, I did buy 2. And one was like flighty and just escaped when it was little and went right into the woods. I'm like, well, that's the end of that stupid thing. And then we had one that we kept, you know what I mean? And I had it, and I'm like, oh, it was kind of a baby. It was fully feathered, but I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. It's all by itself now. So I had little ducks, little call ducks, and they were young, but ducks mature quickly. So I scooted the guinea hen right up against the duck cage. So they were right next to each other. But yet the guinea hen just seemed a little bummed out. It didn't seem like it was thriving. And I'm like, I think I'm going to put the guinea hen in with the ducks, even though I don't ever really necessarily recommend that. You know what I mean? But it just didn't seem like it was thriving. So the ducks were a little older than the guinea hen. So I did put that guinea hen in there with the ducks. But surprisingly, the mother duck liked the guinea hen. You know what I mean? And I was like, of course, I kept a close watch on it. And it was right outside my door here. So I was very attentive. And so I'm like, oh, the mother duck is kind of liking it, Oddly, I was actually surprised because it was such an oddball match. And then the guinea hen grew quickly, and pretty soon it was same size as the duck, and Scott started calling it the big ugly baby. Because I was like, he always comes up with these, like when he goes Sunday Bunday to my hair, then he was calling that the big ugly baby. And it was kind of the big ugly baby.
Because she was. I mean, it's not like I'm that clever. It's just, it is. It was.
So then it was like Bub, it was big, ugly.
B-U-B.
Yeah, Bub. And then I'm like, oh, we'll call it Bubby, because I'm not going to call it Bub. So that's how it got its name, Bubby. And then so finally they were all loose and whatever. It wasn't the baby any longer. Like once it grew up, they divided and that was it. But anyway, it worked out great.
Sana says, good afternoon from France. Yeah, it's the afternoon over
Oh, thanks for joining us. That's so awesome, Sana. Glad you joined us. Well, anyways, but the thing I wanted to tell you is the guinea hen we have has been a joy. We love her, love her. She's been a little bit of a pain in the neck where she, like I said, she's jumped the fence and she goes and yells at the neighbors, which is kind of funny. Because that house, a lot of people have been in and out of that house for whatever reason, but like somebody new goes in there, she goes and like tells them off or something. I don't know what she thinks she's doing over there, but
I say she's the manager of the homestead. She's the second in command to you.
It's so funny.
She's your manager.
And what's funny about her is she can get out of the gate, but somehow she never can get back in.
She gets worked up.
Yeah, and I have to go open the gate and go out there and be like, get back in here, like help her back in. She's so funny. So finally I put a roof on the coop just to keep her in there, just to keep her safe because she's so cute and so sweet.
Yeah. Amber says that she has a 10-foot by 20-foot coop.
Well, how many chickens are in there? 10 by 20?
Didn't she say last week it was like, let me see if I can remember.
Because 10 by 20 is not that big. Because mine's 10 by 40. So
somebody, I forgot, I lost who it was, but somebody was talking about if their chickens are losing a bunch of feathers, is that them just molting or what's going on?
Yeah, it's about molting time, especially for younger birds. They'll molt in the spring for the first time. And then after that, when they're more mature, usually they'll molt. Surprisingly, they'll molt in the late fall. And you're thinking, what a crazy time to molt. Winter's coming and they're like shedding all their feathers. You'd think like, oh, this is just the time like they need them. But then they'll grow in like a big poofy, they'll grow in their new feathers and then a big thick winter coat.
Amber gave us a $4.99 super chat.
Thank you, Amber.
And she says, hair looks great today, Bunday, LOL. Enjoy your rainy weekend. When does school start for Scott in my last year of a PhD in education? Wow, Dr.
Wow.
Dr. Amberly.
Very impressive. Good for you.
Well, it's a funny story about my school is I'm getting the emails. It says, welcome to Western Governors University. Welcome. Your next step is you will be assigned a mentor. Here's your thing, you know, like welcome. So glad to have you. And then I get an email that says, you were kicked out of school and we have refunded your grants. I'm like, what? So I email them and I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I'm getting, you know, all the welcome aboard emails and everything. You're getting your mentor assigned, and then and so no response. And so then I have my enrollment counselor who I've been working with the whole time. Well, I emailed them. I'm like, what's going on? And so then some other person calls me and they're like, oh, hi. Yeah, we had a problem with the paperwork on our end. It's not your fault, so don't worry. It's nothing you did, it's not your fault. But we have to fix all this paperwork, resubmit it all, and so we should have it sorted out by next week, which is going to be tomorrow, because this was, you know, earlier this past week. And so they're like, we should have it all sorted out by tomorrow, which is, you know, tomorrow Monday. And so now I'm like, you know, a little concerned.
A little worried.
You know, they said it's not my fault, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you never know until, like I say, you never know until the check clears.
There's always a kerfuffle. Nothing's smooth.
I mean, it's probably no big deal. It's probably fine. But that was just freaked me out when I saw that. But hopefully everything's fine. But,
that's what builds character.
But my start date is July 1st. So I'm like, I'm already studying, though. It's not like I'm going to be lazy, so I'm already studying, but my official start date is July 1st.
That's what builds character. People that work through the little speed bumps in life, honestly. You have to learn to just persevere.
Yeah.
People that get all stumbled up and emotionally fall apart, those are the people that don't survive. You have to just push through. You'll work it out. It'll iron itself out. Or if it doesn't iron itself out, we steamroll it out. That's how we roll around here.
Even like shopping for the Mason, I called 7 or 8 different Masons, and they were all, you know, hemming and hawing, and some of them were like, oh, I don't know, had different excuses. They didn't want to do the job. And then finally we find one that, you know, my mom already talked about how they want to do the job. So it's like we're like the turtle or we're like the mule. We just keep plugging forward and we get it done.
Or you do it like I did it, where I just did it myself. It's like there's different ways to do things in life. I just built the foundation myself.
But do you want to do that again?
No.
Honestly?
No,
I feel like $10,000 for the foundation, that seems like cheap for what they're doing, all that hard work.
Yeah, it's a deal. Plus, they'll have a crew and do it so much faster than one
better.
person.
They'll do it better because they're good
I don't know if they'll do it better. I'm going to watch them.
You're going to be better than them. Professional Masons, that's all they do.
Hopefully they do it really good.
With a crew.
I'm picky. I'm going to be watching them. I'm going to be like, I'm sure they're going to do it perfect.
Amber says, you taught your kids and your internet adoptees well.
It's like, do it right.
Well, think about it.
It's worth it. You feel good when you do it right. You feel good. And when you give up and fall apart, you don't get anywhere. It's like, just keep going. It's not easy.
Well, you homeschooled us.
Yes.
And both of us started our own businesses.
Yep.
And both of us James went to college. He already graduated. I'm supposedly in college.
You're in college. Don't worry. You're in college.
So you homeschooled both your kids, started businesses, and went to college.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
Yay. What time is it? We're over.
You got to be so hard and fast on the clock.
Yes.
Rebecca says, I feed my chickens the same food you suggested. And then she lists it all out. And she says, thanks for the healthy diet.
Yeah, good. So glad to hear it. Yeah, your chickens thank you too, I'm sure. They're like, yay.
Fat Lady Farmer says that she gives her chickens quiche. They're so spoiled.
What a good name. That's so funny. That's a funny one. I want to draw a little picture. Okay, we're stopping
We got a
now.
99-cent super chat from Amber of the
Thank you, Amber.
smiley face wearing sunglasses.
Oh, how cute. I like that one. Stop scrolling. Thank everybody.
Jonathan says, Scott, you seem super normal for being homeschooled, LOL.
What does that mean? Are there weirdos that are homeschooled?
Yeah.
There are?
I just seem normal.
Oh. Yeah, well, I guess there's some weirdo homeschoolers, but that's because they're not homeschooling to really teach their kids. They're homeschooling for an identity, which that's not really homeschooling. You know, I think that's the mother homeschooling for her identity. That's not why I homeschooled. I homeschooled to get my kids smart. I didn't homeschool because I'm looking for an identity for myself.
APS Education says, good afternoon from India. My whole group is your biggest fan, so please say hi to Ajmit's Colony.
Hi, Ajmit's Colony. I'm so glad you watch from India. That's so nice to hear. I am thrilled when people from all over the world watch. That's so exciting. Love that. That just goes to prove there's homesteaders everywhere and that everybody likes nature. Because who doesn't like nature, animals, and gardening? Like everybody likes that because it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's thank our super chatters because we appreciate you people.
We got Amber, who's a member and a super chatter.
We love Amber. She's our hugs and kisses to Amber so much every week. Thank you.
Joanne.
Thank you, Joanne.
Kevin.
Appreciate it. Kevin. Thank you, Kevin.
And then Linda and Tony.
Thank you, Linda and Tony. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody tuning in every week. And we will see you next week. Happy homesteading.